Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 122. Let's kick things off with Week in Review. This is where we talk about things that are going on in the warehouse, things that are coming up, stuff like that. And first off, let's talk about the obvious. I'm obviously not in the warehouse right now, not in the studio at the warehouse, and that's because of a snow day today. The weather's pretty horrible here in New Hampshire, a lot of snow, especially up near the warehouse. I think there's less down south where I am, but expecting a lot of snow today, and decided it was a good idea to close the warehouse rather than take the risk with anybody. That we're not like very far behind on orders or anything like that, so it seemed that the trade-off was worth it today. Everything should be back up and running as per usual on Friday, and we should be kind of caught up without too much trouble, I think. So moving on, let's talk about just a little bit of an update on the Bondi BNTCA situation, and I'm very excited that we've been able to get a lot of stuff in. This week we're going to have our second restock since the announcement. I think a solid restock, good variety, ton of SD kits actually, which you'll see when we get to the restock part. We've got some good restocks coming over the next couple weeks as well, and most excited, what excites me the most, I guess, is the MGEX. We were able to find a distributor that happened to have enough of them for us to cover all of our open pre-orders. So if you've got an MGEX pre-order and you haven't received a message yet with the what the circumstances are and what your options are yet, it's because once we found out that we had those kind of secured, we stopped emailing those people because we know we're going to be able to fulfill those pre-orders, and they're no longer affected by this whole issue and stuff. We've been able to find some other pre-orders as well. I think the ODO Jackson came in this week, and that covers a few pre-orders there. We've been able to secure, and we'll be receiving some other stuff to cover at least part of our pre-orders for certain items, and so we're still making progress in that vein. So it's kind of exciting that we've been able to do that, and exciting that we've been able to find good stocks of good items. We're expecting like HG Ariel and HG Ilfrith in the next couple weeks, among other things. And there appears to be more supply out there than I even had kind of thought when we made the announcement. So it seems like our ability to restock has been better than expected when this whole thing initially went down. And so I'm excited to see how that continues to play out as we get some more distributors online and get access to more inventory and are able to bring in even more restocks. So that's super exciting. Next up though, tomorrow, Friday, I'm heading down to Richmond, Virginia for Old Dominion Open, which is on Saturday. It's an IPMS show. One of the bigger ones in the US, I'd say. I've gone down a couple of years now. This will be my third time heading down there. If you're, number one, if you're down in that area and you happen to stop by the show and you see me, definitely pull me aside, say hello. I'd love to talk to you. I'm excited to bring a couple of my newer builds down there and see how I fare. And of course, to talk and engage with members of the community. I think it's been a good time every time I've gone down there. I really like going to the IPMS events, and the Richmond area seems to have a lot of fantastic builders and a great community. So I'm really excited about going down there, and excited about the snow being today and not on Friday, and having to worry about the travel issues that came with the trip last time. So that is what it is. A couple other things. We are running a sale this weekend. It's a bit of a clearance sale. I'm not sure what the code is right this minute as I'm saying this, because it's still relatively early on Friday to make sure I get this, or Thursday, so I can get this footage over to the team. But code should be appearing down here or something like that with what it is. But it's going to be a clearance type sale on some slower moving items that we want to get out of the warehouse. Should be a deeper discount, and hopefully you can take advantage and find something you're looking for. And then finally, we launched the March mystery box on Wednesday. Not sure if there'll be any left by the time you see this. Hopefully there are. We had a limited number of these boxes this time based on what we had for stock. The theme this time is mobility. So think fast moving, maybe aerial flight type things. You'll I guess be able to guess what you think might be in there, might not be in there. But that box is scheduled for a March ship date, mid-March, and yeah, so should be exciting on that too. And that's basically the only pre-order we have this week. Patrick's been going nuts trying to take care of reaching out to everybody that has affected pre-orders still. We're almost there and almost caught up. So we didn't get any new pre-order listings prepped because of that this week and everything else going on. But with all that said, let's move on to restocks. So restocks this week, before we cut over to a clip that we shot yesterday while we were still at the warehouse, I will say a ton of SDs this week. A lot of stuff that I don't think we had even been allocated because maybe we didn't order enough of them when we initially ordered. So there's a lot of good stuff in there, some SD kits that I think will be exciting for some of you among some master grades and high grades and other stuff. So with all that said, let's move over to restocks. All right, restocks this week. First up, one piece Oro Jackson. This one was one on a pre-order. We got a few more than we needed to fulfill the pre-orders, but we got those brand new release. Moving on from that, 30-minute missions and 30-minute sisters. A lot of stuff this week. Multi booster units. This one's kind of cool. You can use it to replace the legs or use it as a backpack. Some cool kind of parts there that you can use. We got some more of the Lironel. We got these in last week and they sold out pretty quickly. So we managed to get another batch for this week. So if you missed it, now might be your chance. I don't think we'll be able to grab more in the very immediate future. We also got a bunch of other 30-minute missions kits. Seal Nova Green, the Alto Green, Seal Nova White and Alto White, the Alto Ground Type Olive Drab version. This is pretty cool. It's got parts to make kind of like a gun tank thing with it, with the treads that you could put on its feet or to replace its legs or whatnot. And some pretty cool heavy weapons as well. I think it's some heavier duty, beefier legs. And the option part set, 11 large cannon. Pretty cool. Large guns and looks like some other arm units too. Oh, large cannon arm units. So it's got some cool arms and a big gun. What else do you want? High grades this week. We've got a bunch. High grade Zaku 2 F2. We also got the Rigazi or Rigazi, I think. It's basically a Zeta variant. Zaku 2 FZ. So this is the one from Stardust Memory, I believe. Got the Zaku 1 Sniper Type, pretty cool. We also got the high-grade New Gundam Heavy Weapon Set HWS, so heavy weapon system, I guess. So it's got a big shield, larger gun, and some extra armor parts as well. So that's might be interesting. We got this one's the first time we've had it, the HG Jagan ECOAS type. So this is like a special Jagan variant. Looks pretty cool. It's got a nice darker color scheme to it. We got the two different Jagadoga variations. One's, I think, Quest, and the other one is Yakuto, I think. So we got both of those in. Got another Jagan, the Stark Jagan. This one's got these cool missile launchers for the shoulders, I think, is one of the main differences there. And a few other parts that look different as well. Interesting looking kit. Love all the just Jim Jagan type variants. And then one more, we got the Gelgoog / Gelgoog cannon. Looks like it can be built either way. And I mean, it's a Gelgoog, so that's pretty cool. Two other high grades this week. We got the El Tyson, which is from Super Robot Wars, and the Big Tony from Sakugan. Really interesting looking kit, very different in how it's put together and some of the options it has on it. So if you're looking for something unusual to build, this might be a good option. The bigger theme for this week, though, is probably SD kits. I don't think we've ever received this many SDs in one go. I want to make some room so I can separate these. So hopefully I can go through these pretty easily. Starting off strong. Dings and dents this week. So we got a ton of SD Gundam World Heroes stuff. So this is the Zunliu Bay Unicorn Gundam. We've got the Benjamin V2 Gundam. Some of these have some pirate theming, which is pretty cool. We got the Sasuke Delta Gundam. The Edward II V. another kind of pirate themed one, I think. Cleopatra Cubile Dark Mask version. Got the Birdbuster team member. This one looks like it might be buildable as multiple variants maybe. And then we also have the Nobunaga Gundam Epion Dark Mask. So those are all the SD Gundam World Heroes. We also got a ton of SDBB kits, so including the Musha Gundam, aka kind of like the Shin Musha Master Grade. We've got the Sinanju. We've got the Full Armor Unicorn. We've got the Kshatriya, some really cool bigger SD kits. The Sazabi, another big one there, and apparently Sinanju again. So we'll just set that aside. Thought we got all those. We got the Hainu, the G Gundam, and the Command Gundam. All the other weapons. This one's kind of cool. My son built this one a year or two ago. Got a lot of cool accessories in it. We also got the O. Another big one there. And some of the smaller ones, still SDBB, I believe. We got Strike Freedom Gundam. We got the Gunner Zaku Warrior, a Gundam Astray, the Freedom Gundam, and the Blaze Zaku Phantom. We got the Blaze Zaku Warrior. Sick of SDs yet? And the Destiny Gundam. And then we also have a handful of SDEX. So this is a simpler line of SD kits than the SDBB, but still not horrible kits all around. We got the Wing Gundam Zero, the ODO Gundam, the Ale Strike Gundam, the Exia, and the New Gundam. Which then takes us to master grades. We got a few master grades and a couple of real grades this week as well. First up, we got the Gym Ground Type, the RX-78 2.0, so a little simpler than the 3.0 if you've seen that one recently. I think a little sturdier, but perhaps not quite as detailed, but it's still, I think, sought after for a variety of reasons for that stability. We also got this is the Double X Gundam, and we got a top off, let me put these aside, of the MG Camphor. So we got a few more of those. We also got in the Gundam Astray Gold Frame, a Matsumina, that real grade, and the Wing Gundam. And then finally, we got just a couple more kits down here. The Megamon X Antibody, one of the two figurized standard amplified kits we got in this week, and the Imperial Dramon Paladin mode. So if you're in a Digimon, those might be worth picking up. And finally, we did get this lighting unit white double light. So this is a couple LEDs basically on remote wires that can be plugged in. It's a little battery pack, but you can kind of route them to light up whatever it is that you want to light up. And I believe that's all we got for restocks this week. So let's head back to the desk. All right, and we're back. So let's move on to Q&A. This is the part of the video where I answer questions from you, the viewer. If you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it next time. First up, Plastic Germs question. Do you feel that there's a certain type of person or group of people holding back gunpla in the US modeling world? Generally speaking, no. The only person or type of person, I guess, would be anybody that tries to gatekeep, right? If you're trying to, I don't think there is much of it in the gunpla world, but if you're the kind of person that has a condescending attitude to a newcomer to the hobby, that obviously doesn't help things. Being encouraging and welcoming and trying to get new builders into the hobby, encourage them to try new things, rather than say, oh, your stuff's not good enough, go away, is obviously bad for the hobby. So I don't think there's a ton of those people, so I don't know if it's even really a valid answer to that, but hopefully that makes sense. Fun question, ice cream or pie? Both. I mean, most pies need ice cream to be their best, right? Apple pie without ice cream, not quite the same. So anyway, great question. Next up, Dolfo, do you have difficulty separating your personal mindset from work? I think about work almost nonstop, days off, during meals, holidays, events, etc. Do you catch yourself thinking about Mac warehouse in random places where you should probably be focused on where you're at? All the time. As much trouble as you might have thinking about work or separating work and personal life, I think it's even harder as a business owner, because the business is kind of my life in a lot of ways, right? It's what I do. It kind of envelops a lot of my life. I'm spending a lot of energy both at the warehouse, not the warehouse. It's stuff I do at home for work, essentially, which helps or doesn't help with that separation, I guess. It doesn't help that my wife is a key player in the business, so we end up having conversations late at night about the business because we're thinking about strategy stuff or discussing something that came up that day, or whatever it is, whatever problem we're trying to solve. So it definitely kind of encroaches on my life in a myriad of ways. It's it's good and bad. I like what I do, and I'm really interested in solving warehouse problems and building and growing the business. It's also frustrating at times because there's definitely times I wish I could just completely shut it out and forget about it and kind of decompress and let the stress go away. And I think I'm doing better at that now than I used to, but it's definitely still a thing that I contend with pretty much every day. Excellent question, though. Okay, Bobby Tidro, any updates on aqueous restocks? Thanks, Nick. And then he also followed up and said, I forgot, and Display. So aqueous paints, I'm not sure exactly. We're going to start looking at paints and tools that will encompass Display as well. We're hoping to get onto those orders in the near future. As of right now, I don't think we have any new orders placed for them yet. We've been kind of scrambling, trying to get as much of the stock as we can to cover pre-orders, trying to get our Bandai restocks running again as much as we can, just because we want to try to bounce back from the issues as quickly as possible. The next priority is going to be tools, paint, supplies, and all that kind of stuff, and getting back into that, because I feel like we spent less energy on that than we wanted to because of trying to prevent the Bandai issue and stuff like that. So I think next up on Kate's list is a Delphi restock. She's going to be looking at that in the next week or so. Display is definitely on the list, and then paints will as well. A lot of the paints are easy because a lot of US distributors have most of those paints in stock at any given moment. So we usually can find them if we need to, and so we'll hopefully be able to grab those and snag them pretty soon and pretty easily. Great question, though. And I think there's one more. Mr. Quite Okay, will your frame arms girls selection get restocked? And yes, absolutely. All our Kodo stuff, we'll be doing Kodo restocks for sure, and I've got some exciting news about that I can't announce just yet. But keep an eye out for that in a future weekly update. And I think that's it for Q&A. So like I said before, if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time.